It's Jordan Mulligan from the Mulligan Brothers, and today's highlight is about kindness being underrated. What a great video to jump into with Jonathan Bricker. This video was brought to us by Mulliganbrothers.com, where you can buy the t-shirt and the journal, the link in the description. It helps support all of this. But before that, is kindness underrated? Let's jump into the video.
With the self-talk and like these words that come into our mind, especially when it's negative, I've heard you speak about this, a cycle of self-loathing. How do we break that cycle?
One of the ways you break the cycle of self-loathing is kindness. And kindness is really underrated. A lot of people say kindness is mamby-pamby, being tough on myself, that's what gets things done. That's what my parents always taught me. I've got to be tough in order to get through life. Life is hard, so I don't have room for kindness. But the fact of the matter is, kindness can open you up. Kindness can give you space from all the negative self-talk that we can give ourselves. And there are a lot of different ways to be kind. One of the ways to be kind is to try to see you from outside of you. There are a lot of different ways to do that. One is, think of you 5 years from now. So the 5 years from now, Jordan, or the 5 years from now, Jonathan, what would the 5 years from now, Jordan, say to the Jordan today about the words or things you're saying to yourself? What would the 5 years from now, Jonathan, say to the things I'm saying to myself right now? What wisdom would it share with you? What perspective would it have? And that's an opening, being able to look at yourself another way. What would a really good friend say to you for all the negative talk that you're saying to yourself? How would they talk to you about that? And would they think that that was helpful? That you're saying, I'm a loser, I can't do it. Would that be useful? Is that really going to move you forward to keep saying that to yourself? Has it ever helped you in the past? Maybe it helped you for a little bit, but at the end of the day, you may have felt you were still a loser, you still couldn't do it. And so it's being able to shift perspective. There's a technical term for it. It's called dialectic framing. I want to get into it too specifically, but anyone who's interested can look this up. So there's a lot of behavioral science behind this, and rigorous studies going on behind all of this. The key thing is for people to try these things for themselves and see if it helps them be able to get some space. I think the other way, developing kindness for yourself, is to understand the circumstances that led you to where you are today. What was it like for you growing up? What was happening as you were growing up as a kid? Maybe with your siblings or with your parents or the neighborhood you were growing up in. Was there a lot of stress? Were there a lot of things happening in your neighborhood or things happening in your school that made it difficult for you to be able to get through the day, that were really challenging for you? So think about the history that you didn't cause. You walked into it, and we all walked into this world as infants, and so we didn't create the environment that we grew up in. We were shaped by it. That is a history we had to walk through to become who we are today. And when you look at it that way, you think, gosh, given the circumstances, given all the things that I had to go through as a kid, as a teenager, as a young adult, does it make sense that I would be suffering today? Does it make sense that I would be at this point in my life? And often people can see that it does make sense. And so to blame yourself misses the bigger context of all of the history that you've been living through that have led you to this moment here. The truth is never as simple as I did this. The truth is always more complicated. The truth is more nuanced than that. And the important thing is to see outside of you. We live inside our heads. And so we're always thinking we caused this. But the point is to see, if you see outside your head and all of the events that have happened in your life, you'll understand that kindness is warranted. There's a place for kindness. The final thing I want to say about kindness is if you can develop gratitude, it's a very good way to develop kindness to yourself and to others. When you wake up in the morning and when you go to bed at night, can you think of one thing you're grateful for? Certainly you're alive. And what else? What are the things in your life, the gifts in your life? It's very hard for someone to state what they're grateful for while also feeling self-loathing, while also feeling angry at themselves. It's very, very difficult to have those two go together. And so it really creates a space for you to have kindness when you can express gratitude for something in your life. And it begins to just shift the direction. Because all change is incremental. Nothing happens immediately. It begins to shift the direction of how you begin to look at yourself. Because how you look at yourself is very important for guiding what you end up doing in your life each day.
Certainly, and I think a lot of people are very, very tough on themselves around their circumstances that they've grown up in, I think we all have, especially myself, of some sort of blame to ourselves for stuff that's happened that may have been out of our control. So there was one thing I think you might have touched on in the email, is letting go of control for self-control, or acceptance of control, like the acceptance of the situations around you. They don't sound like they work together in some ways. So how does that work, to sort of let go of control to regain self-control?
So there's a paradox here it's very important, and it's very counterintuitive. But when I said the secret to self-control is to develop control, what I'm saying is the key to having more control over your actions is to let go of trying to control the emotions, the thoughts, the sensations, and the memories, because they cannot be controlled. They run on their own schedule. They run their own way. The more you try to compress them, the more you try to control them, the worse it gets. It's like playing whack-a-mole at the arcade. You get a thought, you try to tamp it down. You get a feeling, you try to tamp it down. You get a pain in your knee, you try to ignore it. And like the game whack-a-mole, every time you whack one, another one's going to pop up, because that's how language-based minds work. That's how us human beings work. And so you can't, if you keep trying to control these uncontrollable things, you are going to continue suffering. You are going to be having a really, really difficult time in your life. And so the secret to self-control is letting go of trying to control those things, because eventually they will actually begin to fade. They're not going to disappear, but they're going to fade to the background. It's like if you're looking at an actor on the stage, you've got things in the background. You might have characters in the background who maybe are not speaking, or who aren't the focus of the attention of the actor on the stage. You want to put the spotlight on what matters in your life, the things you can control, things that you use with your hands and your feet, whether you go to the gym, whether you're running, whether you are going to show up for the interview or write the resume or be able to try to connect with someone that you're interested in or repair the relationship. It's what you say, it's what you do with your hands and your feet. Those are the things you can control. And so the other side of the secret to self-control is focus on the things that you actually have control over and letting go of those things that you do not have control over. Let the moles run around. Let them run around, then do their thing, while you focus on what really, really is important in your life and the things that you actually have control over. The Serenity Prayer from AA actually is quite appropriate here, and that is to change the things that you can, accept the things that you can, and have the wisdom to know the difference. And it's actually very appropriate to the model of behavior change, acceptance and commitment therapy, because it's just really sums it up very quickly. This if you can follow a life that follows that concept, your life could go in a much more positive direction and be much more fulfilling.
I love, love, love this message. The full interview of Jonathan Bricker is linked down below if you want to see more from Jonathan Bricker, and there's more highlights on our channel, but he is such a great person to articulate these messages. He has left me with some unbelievable wisdom nuggets, but kindness being underrated is something that I will hold close to me and take out into the world. It's what we need to do. Everyone needs to take some kindness out into the world. Hold the door open for somebody. Say thank you. Help somebody pick something up off the floor. Whatever it is, go do it. That's inspiring change. That's what it is all about. The video was brought to us by Mulliganbrothers.com, where you can now buy the t-shirts, the journals, and it helps support this whole project. So thank you very much. You can follow me on Instagram at Jordan Mulligan Brother and say hello. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, just go use it to inspire change to other people, and then the whole world can be inspired. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.